Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in today to Vibe High Training, aka we like to call this Workout Wednesdays. As you can see here, before I am beginning my resistance training, I like to roll out. I have had some severe back pain. As you can see here, I'm rolling out, and I have put on a couple of pounds. So if you can look in my previous videos, you see here I'm rubbing like my lower back areas and really getting in the creases of my muscle tissues because they are very tense and sore. And I'm looking up at my boyfriend because he's like, I'm going to help you stretch out. And I'm like, be careful because I'm in a lot of pain. So he's deciding to help me here. As you can see, he started to bring my right knee over to touch the ground on my left side. And this side isn't as tight as the next side that you'll see. I basically have pain going down my lower back. Basically, it's my sciatic, and I already mentioned I have really tight hips. So as you can see here, I kind of sped it up, but this is the problem area right here where my left leg is going to the other side. And he's pushing and pushing down, and I'm like, I am in so much pain. He's like, breathe, breathe. I'm like, okay, I'm breathing. This is the importance of stretching, guys. Very important, because if you don't stretch, years and years and years go on and you're breaking down your muscle fibers as you're exercising, it can cause a lot of stress and strain on your muscles and make you very sore and tight and tense. And we definitely don't want that as we're exercising. So as you can see here, I am really stretching it out, really warming my body up. And typically it's really good to stretch once you're already warmed up. So definitely get your heart rate up a bit, get your muscles moving, body warmed up. I'm going in here with a great combo set that my boyfriend has put me on. And it's basically hammer curl swings and forward lunge. So I'm primarily working my quad muscles on the front upper part of my leg and also my glutes a little bit, as well as working my arms with the hammer curls. And he's telling me to hold it. As you see, I'm pausing. I'm not swinging them. It's more of a contraction of my muscles. So as I'm holding them, when you swing, you get more momentum. And as you hold them, your muscles are more contracted. So really contracting my bicep muscles. I don't know why I couldn't think of that, but this is a great superset combo workout. All right, back for set 2. Now I am doing a hammer curl to an overhead press. And these are great. I also tell my clients to do compound movements because you're working multiple muscle groups at one time. And it's just more efficient. Here's a different angle, like a hammer curl, and then you press straight up. And you always want to keep your elbows nice and tucked in and make sure that you're flexing and contracting your muscles. Here, I like to call these magnet rows. Keep your elbows nice and tucked in and extend your arms straight out. They should be like at an angle. As you can see, I have a slight bend in the knee and I'm leaned over at a certain angle, right? And I'm just pulling my arms back. Here's a different angle. We're gonna really draw those elbows back. This is a great exercise for those back muscles. Like I said, engaging multiple muscle groups at one time, at one exercise. To make things a little bit more challenging, I like to also add in the Bosu ball for balance and stability, as well as doing different proprioceptive moves, getting my mind-muscle connection, really getting that motion. Keeping my knee high is keeping my core engaged, also focusing on my balance and stability, but also getting a little ab workout in because my core is contracted while I'm keeping my knee up, and I'm also still working my upper body arm muscles. And in my left glute is definitely burning because it's stabilized. Okay, so as you can see now, my left knee is going up, and as soon as I can find my balance, there we go. And this is a challenge, right? So definitely pace yourself. Obviously, I'm a trainer, so I tell my clients to do this all the time. But as you can see, it's still challenging. Even me as a personal trainer, it's still a little bit difficult. If you want a challenge and a little spice, I definitely recommend using the Bosu ball. How I have it here in the video, it's inverted. And definitely rest in between sets, okay? If something seems a little bit more challenging, then you definitely want to rest in between at least a minute if you're like solely out of breath, right? But if you have time to actually say, hey, I can do probably 2 or 3 more, only rest about 10 to 15 seconds. Now, as you can see here, I'm doing like a side lunge. I have my foot in the middle of the Bosu ball and it's upright, okay? And I have like a side lunge going on. So I'm really working my glutes, my hammies, as well as my quads all at the same time, whilst I'm doing my upper body and also doing an upward forward movement with my arms. We like to call those frontal raises. I'm kind of doing like a frontal lateral raise. Now we get to the fun part, my favorite, abs. And yes, I'm being very sarcastic. I think abs are like the least of my favorites, and that's because they are challenging for me. But I say that now, but once I get back into my routine, which I had it down packed, if you really want to see abs, I recommend 30-minute sessions of strictly ab workouts for 30 minutes 3 times a week. Okay, so that's a 3-3-3. Now we're going into, I like to tell my clients, I call these the seat belts. Put on your seat belts. Okay, really strengthening and tightening my bicep muscles, okay, and my triceps a little bit, but mostly my biceps. And every time I lift my hand up toward my chest, I'm squeezing my hand into the dumbbell. That extra contraction just helps sculpt my muscles even more. Typically, we're taught when things are in pain, we're supposed to rest and recover, which I highly recommend all the time. I'm never not saying to take care of yourself and make sure that your body properly heals, but I'm also all for strengthening areas of your body that are weak, right? And I tell you guys all the time that my hips are tight and I have lower back pain. So me doing different exercises for my back are ultimately what helps me strengthen them. Also, doing different variations within the workout, right? You know, setting your meter time. How many seconds am I contracting and how many seconds am I holding an eccentric movement are key. I decided to join my boyfriend. He's currently doing a drop set, which is when you have higher weights and you keep lowering the weight as you increase the reps, right? So essentially you start off with the heavier weight and you keep doing the repetitions until you drop down to the lowest weight possible within that set. As you can see here, I started my drop set with 20 pounds, and then I'm going down to 15 pounds, then 10, and then 5 pounds. This is definitely a challenge. That's exactly why I started at 20 pounds, because I knew that I could not go over 20 pounds of weight. It was already a challenge at 15 because I typically range between 10 to 15 pounds when I do my upper body compound movements. Now the 5s were pretty easy, but obviously this is only my set 1 of my drop set. So obviously if you're doing like 4 or 3 sets of drop setting, then it becomes more intense, obviously, with more repetitions. We always want to challenge and push ourselves. This is a 20-pound kettlebell, and we are doing single leg squats. And of course, I have that pain down my sciatic, down my leg, and also my lower back. So it's definitely helping me strengthen those areas within my body where my muscle fibers and my muscle tissues are very tight and tense. And exercising does help loosen it up, but it also is still breaking down your muscle fibers. So that's why it is very important to rest and recover. And that's why we always say that you build your muscle when you rest and recover, because that is when your body heals, aka when your muscles can grow and your body adapts to that change. We are going to end today's workout with Russian twist, and I typically do 3 sets of 30. And when I say 30, I mean each tap is 1. So tap, tap, that's 1. Tap, tap, that's 2. And I'm going all the way to 30. So really, I'm doing 60 taps. So tap 1, tap 2, tap 3, right? And I'm doing 3 sets of that, okay? 3 different sets of 30 repetitions, aka 60 reps, okay? So this is very intense. Like I said, if you are on the strive of the goal of achieving to have abs, I recommend 3 sessions a week, okay? 30 minutes each. And you want to do your exercises to where you're almost sweating, like you're really going to feel it and it's going to burn, because you definitely want to get your muscles to adapt to the change of your body, because most people aren't used to using those muscles on a daily basis how you would when you are strictly focusing on your abdominal core muscles. As you can see by my boyfriend's face, this is definitely a challenge, and it's definitely very important to rest in between. And as I always say, make sure that you breathe, right? Breathing is very important. You want to make sure that muscles are oxygenated, right? You want to make sure that you are bringing rich oxygen to your muscles as you are exercising, because if you don't, that's when people become fatigued and they pass out, right? Especially if they're not used to moving their bodies in an extreme resistance training sessions. Okay. We are back at it again, and I am really resisting this workout right now because it burns. And I typically, when I do Russian twist, I like to make sure that I tap on the ground each time, really getting that full range of twist in my obliques, right? And I typically always keep my legs straight. It's more challenging when your knees are not bent, when your legs are extended straight out and about 6 inches above the ground. As you can see here, I'm struggling a bit because this is challenging. And it's even more challenging when your feet are closer to the ground, and like I said, when your legs are fully extended. When you have a slight bend in the knee, like how my boyfriend has here and how his legs are crossed, that is a little bit more of a regression, right? Compared to having your legs straight, like how I just did, and how they're closer to the ground, it makes it way more challenging. And as I tell you guys how my hips are tight and my sciatic pain keeps coming back up with my lower back pain, this does make it challenging. And I know I've had a lot of clients that have surgeries and also have lower back pain or different pains in different areas. It can be challenging to do Russian twists, and there's also different variations of this particular exercise because besides planks, Russian twists are a great core workout, okay? Yeah, we like crunches, we like bicycles, we like all that standing marches, but planks and Russian twists, chef's kiss, okay? Literally chef's kiss. Like, I would recommend people do Russian twists and planks all day, every day. But recovery and healing your body and resting is the ultimate, like the cherry on top of all of movements, right? You want to make sure that you're taking care of your body. And with that said, I'd like to thank you all for watching. See you next time.